Wow.
Hi, I'm Raven. I saw this wonderful style challenge video by one of my favorite art YouTubers, Emma Artley, and I just thought it looked so fun. I know this challenge was really popular a while ago on YouTube, but I didn't have YouTube when I was like 10, so I get to do it now. Before we get into the actual video, I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite OCs, Stephanie. I feel like I really understand her personality, so she'd be quite easy to draw in styles I'm unfamiliar with, but also she would be a bit challenging because some of these art styles don't really draw larger body types, and she is chubby, so I feel like it'll be challenging but not frustrating for me. First up is Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. You might notice my references on the left side of the screen. I just wanted to show my process of trying to understand the art style, even if it's just something small and a few notes. I feel like it's really helpful to understanding how the style functions. Scott Pilgrim is one of my all-time favorite movies, so when I heard the show was coming out, I was so hyped. I was over the moon, and it was so good when it actually came out. I have nothing but praise for the show. The style is very cute and simple in a good way, so it wasn't too hard to get to a point where I felt like I understood the style and I could replicate it fairly accurately. The only part I struggled with was the body type and her shoes, which I struggle with shoes in my normal art style, so that makes sense. But the body type, I feel like hers is too similar to Ramona's in the way I drew it when they have very different body types. So if I was to do it again, that's the only thing I would change. I think this is one of the best ones of the entire lot because I'm already very comfortable with Schultz's art style because I doodle in it a lot. I mean, everyone loves peanuts. Find me a person who hates peanuts and I'll give you $1 billion because it's just so good. It's these very cynical and funny kids that are still funny even 50 years later. Plus, there's that nostalgia value of watching them as a kid and then watching them later in life and them still being good. I think this one's very cute. I think the only thing I really don't like about it is her hair, I would texture it differently. But it's scene hair, which I think I did pretty good for it being a 1950s art style. Also, I think my Snoopy is just adorable. Look at him, he's so silly. Also added a pink filter over it because when film degrades, it turns a pinky color. That's why Sailor Moon is pink toned and stuff. I think I did really well on this one. I don't know how many people will know about this comic, but it's one of my favorite ones I've ever read. It's called I Love Amy. I think the art style is so cute, but I struggled so hard with it. It was actually so bad. I think this is one of the longest note-taking ones I had to do because I just had no idea how to conceptualize my OC in this style. The artist draws all of their characters very tall and lanky, which I didn't know how to do because Stephanie isn't tall or lanky. So I tried to focus on the proportions of it. Like you saw at the beginning, I used the little boxes, which were the head size, and I just stacked them on top of each other to see how the proportions worked out. The headshot's really good. It fits with the art style and it's cute and it's just good. But the full body, it feels like there's something off. Like the other ones so far, I feel like she could fit into the media that they're from. But for this one, if you saw her in the background or something, it would feel very out of place. It might sound like I'm being overly critical. I'm very proud of this piece. I think it's very good for what it's for. I just don't think it fits with the rest of the drawings as well. That's why it's in the middle. I also think the colors are off. I use a lot of cool tones in my art, but the creator uses lots of warm tones, so it feels a little weird. This is another niche one I'm not sure many people will know about. It's a Chinese comic and show, For my fellow neurodivergent people, do you ever have a hyperfixation that you think you've gotten rid of and you're like, you can be normal again? And then like a few months or a year later, you rewatch it or reread it or whatever, and you like get hyperfixated on it, but it's like 10 times stronger and 10 times worse. Because that's what's happened with me with this show. It's just so charming and fun. It's like, how could I not be in love head over heels with this thing? Like, it's the layout for 2 of my Twitter accounts right now. Like, I'm obsessed with this show. I'm drawing her as a little alien thing because all the characters in the show are like monsters and like demons and stuff. So I wanted to fit the show vibe with drawing her as like some supernatural creature. If I had drawn this in my art style, I would have blushed the top of her antenna thing, but it's not, and I was fine with it, and it was so okay. This last one is a bit of a deviation from the way I chose the rest of the styles because this one is from a specific artist. This is actually the first one I did. I did more notes, and later on you can see that I was unsure of what colors to use for her clothing. I also did 2 full body poses because I was so excited to replicate Nico's style, and because Nico does these awesome poses in every one of his art pieces. This clip is the longest, but it's also sped up like 200% more than the other ones because this one took me so long. But I was having a great time the whole time, so it didn't even feel like it took very long. I think it took me like 5 hours in total, which is way longer than most of my pieces, but it was just so fun. I think I messed up the left hand on the left drawing. Like, it fits his style very well, but I think it's like too bony and skinny looking compared to the rest of her body. This one was a little difficult despite me studying his style a few times before this, because he seems a lot more chill with where he places his lines, and like especially in his coloring and rendering. I'm very calculated and try to make every specific piece look perfect, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. It just makes it a little harder for me to do stuff like this. This is one of my favorite drawings I've ever done of her because it just captures her energy and her expressions so well. Like, I really need to work on my expressions for my personal work. I almost forgot to mention that I didn't even draw shoes in this one. I drew little bear socks. But like, this already took me about 5 hours. Like, if I drew shoes, I would have been here for 13 hours and I wouldn't even got this video done. So it's just like the lesser of 2 evils, you know what I mean? I wrote no way because I noticed Nico does that a lot. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I noticed it and I really like it. All in all, I learned some stuff from this challenge and it was very beneficial for me. Specifically, I took the clothing folds in the pants from the Scott Pilgrim art style, and I've been trying to implement the way I did the shading in Nico's art style. This is a very fun challenge. Like, I recommend any artist do this challenge because it's fun to do, and I think you can get some real growth from it because you're studying other people's styles and how they would draw specific things, and you can take some of their stuff and implement it into your own art style, which just improves your art, you know? Also, if other artists do this, then I'll have more YouTube videos to watch, which is just like a win-win, you know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching to the end of the video. Please like and subscribe. I want to do YouTube stuff more, so that'll be very encouraging if I get some likes and subscribes. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.